Hi, today you're going to learn how to make magic range attacks in no-code game maker. It's essential knowledge if you want to become an exceptional developer. We can see that I'm picking up an orange rectangle with a visible crosshair. When I pick it up with the E key on my keyboard, it spawns my magic bullet. You can do the vice versa and set up messaging so that when you pick it up nothing happens, but when you drop it, it shoots. So let's dive into that. First, set up a pickable asset as your foundation. Place a numpad, name it Weapon 1. Set physics to no collisions. Add a pickable component, set grab offset to 0. Opacity on picked to 1. Message on picked to shoot 1. Leave message on drop empty unless you want to activate something extra later. Now edit logic. Change broadcast type to specific tags in range. Set tags on picked to bullet spawn. Alright, our pickable asset is ready. Let's jump to a less essential object now, visual effects. Place a logic torus, make it a child of a weapon 1 in the hierarchy. Add visual effects behavior. Pick anything that you like. I choose portal effect to give an extra sense of dynamics around my character. Slide enabled at start to true and leave everything else as is, or adjust VFX attributes to your liking. Next is the crosshair. Also not essential, but it looks cool. So place any object further away, facing your shooting direction. Name it Web Crosshair, set it to no collisions. That way it won't stand in our way. Parent it with the main foundation, which is Weapon 1. Now your crosshair should be following our pickable object and act as an actual crosshair. Next is Weapon Indicator. We want to be able to see where our magic weapons start. Select any asset you like. Could be a weapon, a wand, or a tree. Doesn't matter, as long as it fits your idea. Name it Web Indicator. Set it to no collisions. Pair it with Weapon 1. There you go, easy. Let's build the main asset spawner that will shoot bullet. This will take a little more concentration, so focus please. Add a numpad slightly higher than the pickable object. I'll name it Web Bullet Spawn. You can copy my rotation settings, but I highly doubt they will work for you. This mechanism requires specific tuning for each situation. But rotation angle is essential. You can start from similar angle that you see on my screen. Now, make it collisional, add asset spawner behavior, and slide use preset to true. Now notice we have a preset to fill in that preset window, but we don't have one just yet. Before we do that, let's tag this bullet spawner with bullet spawn tag. Now notice that our previously placed numpad weapon 1 is sending a shoot 1 message to specific tags like bullet spawn. Go ahead and open bullet spawner logic to input shoot 1 in message required section. Now we need to build a bullet preset to be able to spit out a magic bullet. Note that this technique works through the manipulation of collisions between assets. It's important to find the right size bullet, as small objects might not work. That's why I'm using this large box as my main bullet. Okay, bullet. Now pick your asset. I chose this huge rectangle. Name it Bullet 1. Set physics to collisions plus gravity. Very important. Add a visual effects behavior. Choose any trail effect. I really like the electric one, but you can pick up any effect that works well with the flying bullet. For example, Trail Galaxy is also good. You can see that when I move my bullet, the trail follows, adding a nice dynamic effect. Okay, let's add a health component and an additional drop effect too. We will get back to this very soon. Now before we move on, make sure to tag this asset with a tag of bullet. Now let's enter the health logic. Set death delay to -1. Most importantly, set instant death message to remove 1. I suggest changing the life bar display to hidden for a cleaner effect. Leave none in the message sent on death. Now set up the drop effect. The type of drop should be set to preset, and we will create a cool preset effect very soon. Now imagine that we set up our bullet with the remove one message on its health, meaning that once it receives the remove one message, it will disappear. To make the disappearance more fun, we're creating an on-drop effect. I chose 4 colorful smaller cubes. Make sure the physics are set to collisions plus gravity. If you want to collect them afterward, add a collectible component on top. You can also make them pickable. Now, let's make it a preset. I called it Dropbox. Head back to our bullet and add the preset Dropbox in the drop component. So here it is. Now once this bullet touches any enemy NPC, it will turn into smaller colorful fractions. Of course, we will need to set up NPC settings as well. Now, select the bullet and make it a preset. I call it Bullet 1. You can now go back to your asset spawner and add Bullet 1 in the preset window. Once you pick this asset up, it will send out the Shoot 1 message to our spawner and trigger Bullet 1 spawn. Now a very important part. You have to add an empty numpad on top of the bullet spawn to create collision friction. Let's call it Web Aimer. The angle of this asset determines the bullet's angle. Keep physics at collisions and try to adjust Web Aimer to achieve the desired bullet shooting result. Make sure the Web Aimer is a child of bullet spawn or weapon 1. Now let's add one more non-essential element. You can add some extra interface details next to your pickable magic ranged weapon. For example, add a numpad and name it Score Display 1. Set physics to no collisions, add an indicator, and update the display name to whatever you want. Drag quest cursor to false and keep display over to true. I prefer a visibility distance of 5 to 6. I always turn off display arrow and interact VFX because we don't need them here. You can delve deeper and create presets to change numbers according to your kills. That's one example, and that's one way to enhance gameplay. Yeah, okay, it looks decent. You can of course make numpads invisible, and that will still show indicator information. Now the last part, enemy reaction. We want the enemy to react to our bullet. I will not go into detail about how my enemy explodes into tiny green pieces, as I recently made a tutorial about that, so make sure to check it out. One obvious thing is that your asset must have a health component, otherwise we won't be able to kill it. So first, enter its health logic and set death delay to -2, instant message to kill, and live bar display to hidden. Now I don't know if you can remember, but we added a remove one message to our bullet asset. Our bullet is constantly listening for the remove one message. Add bullet in the send to tag section, otherwise it won't know where to send the remove one message. Let's focus on this invisible column. Could have been any asset, I just chose a column. Its primary function is to detect the bullet and send a kill message to the NPC. Add a speaker component, remove unnecessary details like display and duration. Keep speak condition to detect entity, and set detection type to specific tags in range. Include tags bullet. And it's important to exclude the avatar tag. Otherwise, whenever you walk next to an enemy, it will die. Set detection shape to box. I chose a small realistic detection area 1, 1, 1. And here's the important part. Message to send should be kill. Broadcast to specific tags in range 1, 1, 1, and the broadcast tag should be C4, but you could have tagged your NPC any way you want. Just make sure your NPC has the same tag as the kill column. So let's analyze again. Your NPC is waiting for a kill message to die. The column is trying to detect a bullet, and when it does, it sends a kill message to the NPC. And then the NPC sends a remove one message, which eventually removes the bullet. A simple and smart loop. If we did everything correctly, it should work smoothly. Now you can hide all the necessary assets and enjoy your freshly made magic shooter demo. I hope you found this tutorial easy to follow and there weren't any surprises along the way. Now, your task is to figure out a way to improve this basic demo. I think it could be a cool multiplayer game one day. Alright, it was me, Gigas. As always, have a nice one, guys.